Welcome, fellow patrons, to part 2 of this week's session. Thanks for your support, and remember to hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified whenever I publish free new videos. So without further ado, let's start. From part 1, we saw that by holistically investigating an incident where we made an unwise decision, we are able to discern how we perceive the stimulus in that incident. What does it mean to us? What is arising or being triggered? What we need to work on? What steps we need to take to achieve better emotional stability and equanimity? And what we can do right now to get just a little closer to that goal. In other words, we're essentially studying and getting to know ourselves. And when we know ourselves well enough, no one has the ability to hurt us. This means that when we face a similar crisis, we'll know the best response because we know the subject well enough not to feel it again. We have gone through this phase, done the self-work, and identified and resolved the underlying issues. And this investigation also improves our moment-to-moment awareness, allowing us to be more and more prepared to analyze our response and the space between the stimulus and our response in real time. Once we are able to do this, the wealth of choices will be granted to us whenever we face a narcissistic abuse. Then we can carefully and wisely decide which route to take and which response to go for. The first response I'm going to look at is the barbaric response. The motivation for responding in this way is ego-based. It may come from the basic desire for revenge or the need to settle the score. They created hell for me, so I'm going to create hell for them. An eye for an eye. Or it may be an act to uphold justice and fight for what's right. This originates from the belief that no one gets to treat me like that and get away with it. There are some things that no one should be able to touch, and if they do, we believe we need to teach them a lesson in the crudest way possible. Otherwise, we might feel like we've lost our sense of dignity, our good name, our values, and our beliefs because of the narcissistic abuse, and that the only way to regain our peace of mind is to attack them back, to snuff them out. In other words, we have a strong need to exact the punishment that we believe they deserve as an act of redemption. Another possibility is that we may have a need to prove to the narcissist that they are wrong. This is based on the belief that leaving the situation, walking away, or standing down is cowardly, that we lose our self-worth, power, and dignity if we don't confront them or fight them. Our ego can also show up as righteous arrogance, where we believe that evil should be condemned, that evil should be annihilated, and we may even take it upon ourselves to do it. We may also feel that a life does not matter if it is committed to wickedness. So to respond in a barbaric way, one uses pure iron willpower and brute strength. By holding on strongly to one of the motivations mentioned, an animal-like instinct can be developed, causing a person to become ruthless, destructive, and dangerous. This allows them to go in for the kill, and so the war begins. The result of this response is temporary satisfaction or peace of mind. This is because the narcissist will never admit defeat. They would rather self-destruct and take you out with them than have you win the fight. Also, we are losing our humanity if we decide to go to extremes in this response. However, we do need to be fierce when necessary to defend our values and principles. I've attached a scene at the end of this video to give you a better picture of this response. Next is the intelligent or intellectual response. The motivation for responding in this way is to save ourselves, to break the cycle of abuse, and to leave and go no contact. We may also choose this response when we are trying to recover from the abuse. Our intellect can be a great tool to help us recover our self-esteem, self-trust, and dignity, and regain our peace of mind and emotional stability. It can also help us cope with the abuse by adapting to it and developing an immunity to future abuse. We may also seek to anticipate any narcissistic abuse and to detect any toxic people more effectively. One way we can respond intellectually is by studying their behavior and identifying their weaknesses.
You actually believe that all of this is somehow justified?
It is.
You are insane!
Heart on fire, set my heart afire.